Love Living Your Story family. Coach Keith here. I wanted to bring you in on a conversation I had with a life coaching peer of mine, Aaron Fulton. We were talking about triggers, and we had a discussion about how they can either be tools of ours or how they can actually control us and control our environment. So I want you to check this out. Let me know what you think.
Sometimes those triggers gives us the tools to adjust ourselves. It's just, how do we use those triggers to serve us? Do we put more power into what triggers us and where the trigger came from, or do we put more power into the internal effect that trigger is having? Make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it can either serve us or work against us. Ultimately, it's our decision how we want to use this trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a hammer to hammer a nail. You can use a hammer to hammer your hand. Which one is going to have the worst effect?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. From a coaching perspective, right? Sometimes we might tell our client that certain things that they're dealing with are tools that they can use.
Yeah.
And like these certain triggers, some of them can be, pulled out of this proverbial toolbox to be used as power, So yeah, that was good.
Yeah. We can use it as power. And the problem that a lot of people are facing now is we haven't really been taught about the powers that we possess inside. It's not so much, it's using it for power, but it's more so drawing out the power that we have within ourselves. Because remember, people are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize those qualities that lay dormant within inside of them. So the minute they get triggered, instead of really going deep into that trigger and deep into that wound and deep into what's happening internally, they stay at the top and swirl the water a little bit. And that's usually where the ripple and the impulsive reaction comes from, because you triggered me. And this trigger applies to many things in our lives. We have marriages that we're in, and the minute our spouse says something that triggers, instead of going deep into why that's triggering us or why that has such a profound impact on us internally, we just stir up the top. We get shallow, and we usually have impulsive reactions to counter that trigger. Yeah.
and at the top there, just to piggyback off what you're saying, that swirl, that's the shallow area, right?
Yeah, think of like a pool, and you have the depth of the pool, but then you have that shallow area. So when I swirl my hand, I'm just swirling that shallow, that top of that water.
Yeah, and that shallow area is usually our subconscious, right?
Yeah,
it's those things that we've learned over the years, those things that we were taught by whomever over the years that we've adopted into our minds, that are deciders.
Yeah.
Us, right. So we're going to decide. We've already pre-decided what it is that we're going to believe about a certain thing, how we're going to react to a certain thing or a certain word, right? Or certain phrases.
Yeah.
And I was thinking this week about that mostly. The fact that we tend to not make a decision about things.
Yeah.
Like we don't use our mind to make a decision. It's just our subconscious kicks in and boom, I'm decided that either I'm going to accept this, that's right, I'm going to be offended or whatever you have.
Exactly.
Instead of actually digging into your conscious further down, right, into the pool. Yeah. And actually massaging what it is that you're hearing or what you've seen to make a real determination as to how you should respond to get, I guess, the best result from whatever it is that you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's what makes us, it's what fulfills us at that particular time. And unfortunately, a lot of what we think fulfills us is the shallow end of the pool. And it's like quick, easy, doesn't require a lot of internal work. I don't have to really make a decision. I can just make a reaction. And that's when a lot of people just counter it real fast. You know, whatever that trigger is, bam, you know, because I don't need to really go into depth about me. Matter of fact, I'm going to make my response about you instead of about me, you know?
Yeah.
And I think about like the brain, you know, because that brings us to the limbic system, the limbic part of our brain. You know, that's when you often hear go into reptile mode or, you know, fight, flight, or freeze mode. And that's when the brain is offline. That's when you're not thinking whole. You're not taking the time out to be rational. It's just, I got to react to what's in front of me. And I'm either going to run away from it. I'm either going to approach it head on, or I'm either just going to stop, freeze, and just be in my head. But that's where pauses come into play, and you taking a step back and breathing and really trying to discover the solution versus discovering the best reaction. And once we discover the solution, that's when our limbic system gets back online, and now it's closing up and everything is together, and our decisions are more whole, they're more profound, and it's not just impulsive reaction. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? Resolution or solution oriented.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, thanks for tuning in and watching Aaron Fulton and myself discuss triggers. I hope you got value add out of that. If you did, if you don't mind, go ahead and click that like button for me. And if you're not a member of the Living Your Story family, go ahead and click that notification bell so you know when, and subscribe so you know when the next videos are coming out. Hey, once again, thanks for visiting Living Your Story. I am Coach Keith, and I'm out.